Hey guys, so this is the, no, not yet. That's my dad. He's helping with the video. So this is the next installment in the saga of the updated garage lighting and fans. I did in fact manage to order the curved blades for the two Evergo made fans, so I'll be swapping those out as soon as those arrive. I changed the cap value in the TAT and oiled the bearings. I oiled the bearings in this. This was the fixture yesterday that on my Instagram video one of the tubes wouldn't start. Started perfectly this morning, then I turned it back on and off again and it wouldn't start. So I went up there to try to see to change the starter, and it started as soon as I touched it. So who knows? Well, I haven't done anything yet. You can see there's two more fixtures above the door there. I haven't figured out a way to get everything starting in one shot, because if I'm in here, you can't see everything, but you can see the ones above the door. If I'm outside, you can see everything except the ones above the door. So my dad jumped the gun a little bit, but he's gonna turn them on so that everybody can see them starting together. So let me just get here in closest position, back a little bit. Okay, Dad, go ahead. No, not the fans yet. Okay, all the lights are on, so now as soon as these two fans stop, we can start the fans. Okay, go ahead, Dad. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you so much.
Okay.
A little bit. What? The TAT stalled. Did you turn the fans off?
Yeah.
Oh, no, leave them on that setting. Sorry. The sad thing is that's what I'm turning into. It's actually not sad. My dad is a great guy, but we make fun of him a lot. So my kids will make fun of me a lot. Okay. This is everything on low. For now, I decided to stick with the variable speed control and just hope the bearings would improve on the TAT and have the disparate low speeds. Disparate, for those who don't know, it's a word I use a lot. I figure some of the kids might not know it. In this case, I could just say different. In this case, it means basically the same thing. Which means that there's a notable difference between them. I don't know what the actual dictionary definition is, but it, basically means two things that are supposed to be the same but aren't, or multiple things that are supposed to be the same that aren't. I don't know. I'm bad at giving definitions. So here's the control. Well, he turned it further than Dad. Okay, let's try that again. Well, I just want to make sure that, yeah, so I guess everything was a little bit faster than. So this is the actual low speed. We'll come again now. It would be really cool if preheat fixtures turned off in a similar way that they turned on, where there's a difference. Somebody else should also do like a mercury vapor startup video, like for a gym or something that has a bunch of mercury vapor. Unfortunately, you don't see places with a whole bunch of mercury vapor much anymore. Okay. So now that's everything on actual low. That's the slowest I could get it and still have the TAT start consistently. It'll probably stall out sometimes, but it starts as consistently as. Hasn't stalled out yet on this low speed trim setting, so knock on wood. So let's go. Can't remember if I talked about it yesterday, but I was trying to figure out what to do because the box is for a bigger control. I just used the tin snips and cut the cover there, and that seems to be fine. So this is medium low. I also talked yesterday about what prompted this project. I'll tell that story some more, probably while they're spinning down. Which one of these is humming? This one's hummy. This one's got a little wet bearing noise. Those two are silent. So let's go to medium high. I have curved blades on order. I just got to figure out what color to paint them, because they should be about the same color as this, but that's a different color, white. Of course, if I leave them up in the garage, they'll eventually get dirty and yellow on their own, but okay. And even though high is all the way over here, there's really not much noticeable difference once you get past the 3 o'clock mark, so we'll go to high. This is the most powerful of the 4 fans. I haven't tested, but I would assume this is the least powerful. I don't know, those are a certain... I don't know. It's about equal to the two. Okay, let's do spin down. So, I'll tell the whole story. A couple years ago, I was at an estate sale, and they had an antique deal ceiling fan in the porch. And I was surprised because the fan appeared to be from the 30s, and the house is from the 50s. I thought it was really cool, but it was an estate sale, so it wasn't for sale. And then I went downstairs, and they had a half-pipe fluorescent fixture from the 40s hanging up over the workbench, some old shop lights, and then 2 8-foot louvered fixtures in the garage. And I thought, well, everything in this house is cool, so I left my name and number for the new owners of the house. And I've done that at lots of sales, and nobody ever calls. But this time, the new owner of the house actually called and said, hey, we're not going to sell the fan. We love the fan, but if you'll help us maintain the fan, then we will give you the fluorescent lights. So that's how I got all the vintage fluorescent lights that ended up at my shop. The half pipe that hangs over the air compressor, and the louvered fixtures, and the shop lights that are upstairs. And I got a bunch of other fixtures too that I gave away. I think I sold a couple, but I think most of them I gave away depending on what they were. And so when I started hanging them upstairs, I said to myself, well, I need more louvered fixtures, because I didn't like the idea of doing a mix of shop lights and louvers at the time. So I put a wanted ad on Craigslist for antique fluorescent fixtures, and I put a picture of some different louvers ones up. And a guy called me and he said, hey, my friend's got a whole bunch of these in his storage. He thinks they're really valuable. He wants a lot of money for them. And I said, well, I'm not going to pay that much. And we went back and forth for a while, and eventually I said, well, you know, too bad. And was, you know, getting ready to pass on them, and I hung the shop lights up upstairs instead, and I was fine with that. I thought that worked well. You know, I had no real use for them anymore after that point. And then, you know, some months later, the guy calls me again and said, hey, my friend passed away. The fixtures are just going to get scrapped if you don't come get them. And so I said, well, I hate to see them get scrapped because they're really cool. But I also don't have any place for them anymore. Excuse me. So I contacted a few friends of mine that collected vintage fluorescent lights, and I said, hey, if I pick these up, can you come get them? You know, what could we do with them? And I only had one guy that was close enough to come get them, and he was only able to take a couple, and so I didn't really know what to do. But the guy called me and said, hey, if you don't come by Friday, you know, I think he called me on like a Monday and said, if you don't come by Friday, they're getting scrapped. And I didn't want to see it happen, so I asked my dad if I could store them in his garage until I figured out what to do with them. And my dad kindly said yes, even though I already had all my cardboard boxes in the garage and all my fans in the basement. So I picked them up, and they were in the garage, and he said, well, I need them out in time to do the storm windows, because he's got the storm windows over there. And I said, I need to be able to get to the storm windows, so I need the the lights out by that time. And I was thinking, once I got home with them and I put them in the garage and I looked up and there was those, there were 2 4-foot shop lights in here, one like 1.5 foot strip light, and then there used to be 2 2-foot shop lights over the door, and the ballast went bad in one of them and I couldn't find replacements, so I just put the little bare bulbs up there. Then there was another bare bulb, and there were a lot of fixtures in the ceiling and nothing was particularly cool. And I always thought that there was, you know, light in spots, but there wasn't enough light everywhere. Like, it was dark over here by the panel. You know, it wasn't evenly lit. And so I said, well, let me, my first thought was, let me just replace the 2 4-foot fixtures that were here with the louvered fixtures, and then I can at least keep 2 of them. And that was my original plan. And I think that maybe the one that was here wouldn't have fit unless I moved it. And I was going to have to move some stuff around, and I was trying to think, is there a way that I can have a more evenly spaced, because it would look silly to have them in that positioning anyways. Is there a way I can have more evenly spaced fixtures? And so I started thinking about it, and I was like, well, what if I move the fans? Is there a way around it? And so I finally came up with this layout, which allowed me to use all but 1 of the louvered fixtures and then 2 of the centers for the fixtures without the louvers. Those are what's above the door there. Those are exactly what's inside the louvered fixtures, but minus the louvers. And so I was very pleased with that arrangement. And then I was talking to Cole Semanco, Vintage Fans and More, about his garage project and how the layout of fans in his garage always seemed uneven to me. That got me thinking, well, the layout of the fans in this garage always seemed uneven to me too. If you may recall, there was basically 2, one where the round motor Evergo is and one where the 4-blade is. And that's what was up there for years. And that was because when I was a kid, my dad used to let me use the garage to work on organs. So I'd have a space here. Up here I have an organ. And the first fan I ever hung out here was, oh man, what came first? I think the first fan I ever hung out here was that 3-blade Evergo that had the switch housing. 3 metal blades and a switch housing and a little 2-piece plastic canopy. And I hung it right here. I really don't know why I hung it right there. And then ran a cord over that outlet, and it was on a pull chain. And at one point, I added my 56-inch Caraway that's long gone, and hung it somewhere up, no, right there where the 2 drywalls meet. I hung it right there. So there's a 56 fan in back, and I don't even know what that was controlled on. And, man, I changed some other fans around, too. I had a TAT with a light kit back here, and then I had a solid-state control on the wall over there. I hung a design house there. I hung that coat up there. I even hung a blender fan there. I don't remember what order, what things happened, and excuse me, so much I don't remember about what I did over the years. But when it came time, okay, so I'm jumping around in my stories. So I think I'd removed all the fans from the garage at one point. There were no fans in the garage. I'd had lights up, but I'd removed all the lights. There were no lights anymore. The only thing left was just that bare bulb up there. And this old 50-year-old drywall that never got mudded and taped started to fall down. This would have been about 2003, maybe. And my dad asked me to fix it. And I said, sure, and I thought about it, and I said, well, while I'm up there, here's an easy way to fix it. I'll get to put some lights up there to hold it in place, and then we'll have more light in the garage, and I'll run some wire and have some fans. And so that's how the original lights came to be up there, and that's how the original fans came to be. And I think what happened was I just figured I'd use the same hook that I'd used on the fans here over the years, and so that's how that one. And I said, well, let's just do a corner thing. And so the corner equivalent to that was right there, and that was close as a 56-inch fan could go and not hit that door. So it kind of made sense, but it wasn't too practical. So anyhow, I was talking to Cole, and I realized I never really liked the fan layout in here. And the fact that he had one of these made me think about using 36-inch fans. And I further thought about the fact that I really wanted to find a place to hang that Four Seasons Venair, because I thought that's such a cool fan. And so I said, well, if I do 36-inch fans, I can do a pattern of 4, which makes more sense. And so that's how this was born. These are just, you know, centered based on the garage door, those two. And then I measured how close this could go to that door. And so it's off-center by, oh man, I don't remember now. Let's just say 6 inches. I don't know if it's actually 6 inches. And then, so I did the same thing over here and moved it over 6 inches. And I'm very happy with this. It's what I wanted. And I'll see how much I like it better with the curved blades. I'm gonna have to drill them out, which shouldn't be that hard. It doesn't have to line up perfectly, you know. Hi, Casey. Casey's barking. So I got some more cleaning up to do in here, and I think I'm actually done with the actual work other than the cleaning. But I'm trying to think. I was gonna change the starter in that one, but now it's working. I did the fans. Nothing else I can do till the blades come on those, and even then I gotta paint them first. Well, I don't have to paint them. I'll see how, maybe I'll put them on there and see how noticeable they are, just with the existing color. So. I'm thinking no reason I can't go buy the paint now while the I wonder what was red that was on there. Okay. I think I've covered all my bases, and if I make any changes, such as making that, I thought about, I've got that round motor Evergo with 4 funny shaped blades. I don't know, I think they're wood. I thought about changing that, but I really wanted to do 4 curved blades. And then obviously I'm going to try the curved blades on those, so we'll see how everything shapes out. Thanks for watching.